Everybody remembers their first. No, not that first. We're talking about first diesel trucks. Drew Pumphrey's first diesel truck, a 1988 Ford, had a 7.3-liter indirect injected naturally aspirated engine and was a gateway drug, so to speak, that fueled Drew's obsession with diesel performance. After having tasted what diesel power felt like, there was truly no looking back after that. In fact, Drew was so addicted to diesel performance, there were times he had to win money at a pull just to be able to buy fuel to get home. He even remembers missing a Thanksgiving because he broke the transmission in his truck and had to rebuild it in his apartment. It's safe to say Drew would do everything possible to make more power or get to the next level. That's what eventually led him to open D&J Precision Machine in 2009. Today, D&J Precision Machine operates out of 27,000 square feet, where 12 full-time employees focus on Dodge Cummins engines. D&J's Enforcer engine, which is based off the 6.7-liter Cummins, is our focus today, and we're going to give you the details in this episode of Diesel of the Week.
This video is brought to you by AmSoil, the first in synthetics. Visit amsoil.com for more information.
I'm Greg Jones, editor of Engine Builder magazine, and today we're talking about D&J Precision Machine's Enforcer engine, which is based on the 6.7 Cummins. The first Enforcer engine was built for Firepunk Diesel in 2015 for the Diesel Power Challenge. The shop wanted to retain the large bore of the 6.7-liter engine while increasing strength and still being able to run coolant in the block and make it as serviceable and repairable as possible. D&J has since sold over 50 of these long blocks in multiple configurations, from 1,200 horsepower street engines to 3,000 horsepower sled pullers. Some setups can produce over 4,000 foot-pounds of torque. D&J starts an Enforcer build with an OEM 6.7-liter Cummins block, crank, and cylinder head. The basic Enforcer gets 9/16 main studs machined into the block, a D&J girdle installed, and line board. And since the stock Cummins block only has a front cam bearing, D&J installs cam bearings in every journal. The shop also bores the block for larger sleeves and installs a 1-inch thick deck plate that's manufactured in-house. D&J has a proprietary system where they run tie bolts through the deck plate into the main web, adding lateral strength to the block. The sleeves are a slip-fit sleeve with a top flange, so it can be easily replaced without going to the machine shop if there is a piston failure. From there, D&J starts work on the cylinder head by cleaning, crack checking, and shot blasting the head. The shop removes the stock cast iron intake manifold and machines the head to accept a Stage 3 billet replacement style intake, and they install new guides and larger seats. The valves get upgraded to a Ferrea super alloy valve, which are 1.5 inches on the intake and 1.45 inches on the exhaust. When it comes to the head, D&J uses its 5-axis CNC to port the head to 315 CFM on the intake and 265 on the exhaust. On the other hand, stock is 165 intake and 145 exhaust. From there, the shop installs its own custom 115-pound springs and titanium retainers, and also replaces the press-in soft plugs under the valve cover with a thread-in soft plug that will not blow out with additional coolant pressure. D&J uses a billet flat tappet cam spec'd depending on application with billet lifters, and uses custom 7/16 push rods, stock rockers, and billet bridges, all made in-house. Moving to the rotating assembly, D&J utilizes its own X-beam tool steel 1-inch longer connecting rods, featuring a pressure-lubed wrist pin and 1/2-inch rod bolts. D&J also manufactures its own pistons for this engine, which feature a steel ring land to increase durability of the top compression ring. D&J uses total seal rings, cleveite bearings, and tool steel wrist pins. The stock crank gets balanced, crack checked, inspected, and polished, and D&J will also offer a billet crank from Winberg if the customer will be pushing the stock crank too hard. The head gasket is a modified stock gasket that D&J machines in-house, and the compression is sealed with a fire ring. These engines normally run with a common rail fuel system, and D&J has additional upgrades available depending on application, such as a billet main cap to add more strength to the mains, and roller lifter upgrades, which Drew recommends on applications over 2,000 horsepower and 100 psi of boost. D&J can also make billet timing gear housings that run multiple fuel pumps, dry sump oil pumps, and mechanical P-pumps if the customer does not want a common rail fuel system. The shop can even offer an upgraded runner and plenum intake manifold. All said and done, D&J ships this engine with a billet LED enforcer valve cover, billet front cover, billet soft plugs, and a 6.7 liter fluid amper. In the years since D&J started building the enforcer 6.7 liter, this engine platform has been a workhorse for its customers. Properly tuned, customers have seen 100 plus passes at over 2,500 horsepower before needing to refresh the engine with rings, maybe pistons, and bearings. The Enforcer engine is currently behind the record for the fastest four-wheel drive truck, the fastest diesel door car, a 3-time Ultimate Callout Challenge winner, a Diesel Power Challenge winner, an Outlaw Diesel Pro Street Points champion, and an Outlaw Diesel Pro Mod champion. With a pedigree like that, we have little doubt the Enforcer engine platform is in for even more success in the near future. Well, that does it for this episode of Diesel of the Week. A special thanks goes out to our sponsor, AMSOIL. And if you have a diesel engine you'd like to see featured, please email me at gjones@babcox.com. Until next time.